mile.
That's great. It's like a rocket ship.
9.4. That is impressive. An 18, wow. Very good, Tom. Welcome to Alubat, America. I'm Rob Poirier. Today we're at the La Rochelle Boat Show and we're going to give you a tour aboard this beautiful new Ovni 370. As you can see by the hull, the 370 is part of the new generation Ovni that really features that forward redesign that doesn't just improve offshore performance, but it also provides a lot more capacity in the bows. You're going to see that when we show you inside the anchor lockers and the sail locker, is even the forward cabin for that matter. That's amazing. So we're back touching 9 knots again. Sailing at 66 apparent. So the boat likes to sail. For a 39-foot boat, the Ovni 370 has a great sail plan for offshore sailing and passage making. Here at the show, we only have the Solent set up. But as you can see, there's an attachment point here for the removable staysail. And of course, we can carry a Code 0 or Code D or spinnaker for that matter on the bowsprit. But the nice thing is that I can always have 3 sails set up, ready to be deployed at any time. Again, this really makes a perfect offshore sailing arrangement. And the fact that this staysail is detachable means that for lighter air sailing, being able to tack without that staysail in the way is a really practical thing. Okay, tacking. So of course I'm on the foredeck of the 370, and the first thing you'll observe is just how nice and level that deck is for moving around. But we're going to go through the different hatches and some of the features here. The first thing I like to point out, of course, is the fact that the bowsprit and the anchor roller is fully integrated into this aluminum structure. Again, a really nice highlight of just the overall strength and integrity of a boat like this. And of course, it's designed to accommodate 2 anchors. The forward and first locker is our anchor locker. If you had watched the video we made on the construction of the 370, you might remember we talked about the redesign of the forward third of the hulls of these boats that provided for better performance but also more capacity. And this is really well reflected in this anchor locker because for a 39-foot boat, it's got a huge capacity for chain, but there's also room for additional storage forward here as well. We've also got a windlass with a really practical manual backup. This next hatch is our sail locker. Right now we have a Code 0 in here, but there's plenty of room for a spinnaker as well. This hatch, of course, is located right over the forward berth. Good ventilation is not an issue. This next hatch is located directly over the shower forward in the boat, but it also helps ventilate the main salon because if you remember, that shower is located just forward of the salon itself. So these last 2 hatches are located right above the salon. This one is right above the galley and the stove, and the next one over here on the starboard side is above the raised salon seating area. I always hear myself saying that my favorite feature on the new line of Ovnis is this new hard dodger. As you can see, it offers fantastic weather protection, sun protection. The ventilation is absolutely terrific on it. It's easy to talk in theory about how a hard dodger like this is going to make sailing offshore much more comfortable. But on a sea trial like this one, we're experiencing 20 knots of wind, that you really appreciate the benefit of this type of arrangement. Here on the cabin top, I can also show off the fact that the boom is controlled not by one, but by two independent main sheets. One of the benefits of this, beyond obviously good sail trim, is they almost act like a preventer. So it's a really nice arrangement. And as you can see, all these lines land right inside at the helm. So did you notice It's pretty obvious what makes the interior of the 370 so popular with people that step aboard, and that is the fact that here sitting at the salon, I have absolute direct line of sight outside. So it's bright, it's comfortable. For a 39-foot boat, it's really probably the most optimal interior in a monohull you're going to ever find. We're currently on a sea trial on a beautiful Saturday morning, and we're in about 18 to 19 knots of wind, and because we had the full main and the code 0 open, we're sailing at between 9 and 10 knots this morning. So the boat is performing beautifully. We thought we'd take a little video inside simply to show off how great this interior visibility really makes it comfortable at sea. In addition to the benefit of this raised seating giving us this nice line of sight while we're in the boat, it also, by elevating the seating, you're not losing any inside space, but you're gaining all that storage under the settee, which is a real benefit. Really enjoyed a very lively sea trial this morning. And for me, one of the big takeaways is how really comfortable the transition from the cockpit to the inside of the boat has been. And I think that's got a lot to do with the fact that this panoramic window setup is really allowed you to maintain that forward visibility. And of course, the boat's also very stable, even in these conditions. I like to talk about the fact that the construction method of these boats really enhances the overall storage capacity. So because an all aluminum boat has to be built in a way that all furniture comes through the companionway, we're not using fiberglass liners. We're not wasting that valuable space by building that way. That level of storage capacity makes this boat at 39 feet a very viable full-time liveaboard vessel for a project like that. The galley aboard this 39-foot boat is really optimal in the sense that it provides not only great stability underway, but if I'm making a meal while on a passage, I've got great visibility forward, not just side to side. That just makes it that much more comfortable for making a meal. In the new generation Ovnis, this raised nav station is optimal. Of course, it's obvious that I've got full control of the boat systems here, but best of all, I've got a forward view and a direct line of sight outside. What I really like about the arrangement here on the 370 is the fact that they've put the shower, and as you can see, it's a very large shower, separate from the toilet and sink. This allows a couple to use the facilities in a more practical way. It's also nice to point out that behind that panel, we can locate a washer and dryer. The starboard aft cabin on the 370, much like the 430, is the technical room. And it's an area that really is important to the liveaboard sailor because it gives you a lot of access to important mechanical systems. Starting, of course, with engine access, which, of course, you got front access in the companionway, but you've got a lot of side and aft access here in this area as well. In this particular area, every boat's going to look very different. Typically, we're going to see a generator here, maybe a water maker. In this particular case, the owners have opted to go with an oversized fridge freezer here. See all the control units for shore power and other electrical systems right here. This room also gives you additional storage, and in this case, a third bunk in the boat. Right behind me, behind this cloth, I have direct access to the steering system on the boat. And in this case, because the boat has a heating system, the heating unit is located back here as well. It's really important to remember that the integrity of this boat isn't just seen on the deck construction. You can see the construction of the steering system, and it gives you some great insight into just how solid this whole vessel is. It's not surprising to know that these vessels have survived 2 orca encounters and kept the rudders intact. So there's 2 ways to access this technical room. There's a large doorway right in the washroom, but also, more importantly, there's a large overhead hatch to the cockpit. And of course, that makes it really nice if I'm moving large items or dirty items or even extra sails for that matter in and out of this area. We just spent the past week at the La Rochelle Boat Show with this exact 370. And I thought I really got to know this boat well. But today we had a sea trial that just completely changed my perspective on this vessel. And it reminds me of what I hear myself saying to people all the time. And that is actually a boat show is a terrible place to make a boat buying decision. You need to sell, you need to take that boat for a sail. And today we had a very lively sail, and in 20 knots, we were consistently sailing at 9 to 10 knots. So we also saw how beautifully this boat tracked as it rested on its chine in the water. Again, so I've come away with a completely new appreciation of just how great this 370 really is. We hope to do a lot more videos on this particular boat, and we hope you've enjoyed what you've seen today.